Hello, thank you very much for tuning into this week's Pick-a-Read. The Pick-a-Read for this, the subject is, where's the money? And we're just going to let that go wherever it wants to go. I'm not going to try to over-define it. Here are the decks I'm going to be using for this. Bonfire Tarot by Gabby Angus West, and Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. That way, if you want these decks like these decks, you can find them easily. I believe they're both on Amazon currently. Okay, so got those out of the way. We're going to do 5 piles, and true to me, the challenge is to get these in frame, somewhat in frame anyway. Okay, so there's their 5 base piles. Let's see. I think we're good. All right, let's do the other deck. Okay, I think we're good with those. Alright. Oh, I want to put the bottom card here. I don't know why. We'll just throw that there. So, before I put the stones on, I am going to put the channeled message here. So, we got this, that, that. Okay, there's those. And now we'll get this. No, we'll leave it there. Are we sure? Yes. Okay. Let me back up so you can take a look at these. So, we'll start with the green calcite. Pull that back. We'll then do the amethyst, which that is amethyst with some smoky quartz with it, I believe. We'll then do lapis lazuli, selenite. So the big chunk of selenite right there. And then the rainbow hematite. Alright, so let's move these out of the way and get right into the first one, which is going to be the green calcite. So we'll move that right there. That way, keep it frame. We have, oh, starting right off with that. This actually I want to keep face down. Do this. That, this. Now, this is, the reason this is still face down is because something isn't apparent here. The top part here is usually the person asking the question, so that'd be the person, that'd be you who clicked on this reading. So there's something that's not apparent. So I almost feel like this is something developing on your side, something that you need to see still, which is beauty. Okay, so where's the money? With the beauty on your side and the King of Cups on the other side, somebody's not working against you. But I almost feel like them working kind of like with you in consideration might be a question you have. Like, you might be questioning that. Like, well, I don't know if they're working towards my benefit. I get that they are. So this is going to lead forward. And I'm sure you'll see this last one here, patience. But there's a change here. Like, somebody here, this person that you're dealing with, somebody has a direct effect on this money. There's money coming to you if you're expecting it or if you're not. There's a person around you. I feel like they can be, I know this is the King of Cups, but I feel like they can be a bit cranky is my first thought. But that seems to happen with people who, like, they've had a kind of a rough time of it. People have kind of been a little difficult in their life. And they've learned the hard way, when they open their heart too much, people just walk right on it and just take advantage of them. So that might be, this person might be a little bit kind of like they have that hard candy outer shell, where they might be nice for the most part, but it's hard to really get in their favor. They don't really like doing favors for people, but they will. I don't know how to explain this. Like, there's people I know that are like this, where they will help people, and they do actually like helping people, but it may be hard to get them to do that, only because they don't want people to know how much they do care. They might have like that harder outer shell, that type of person. And I'm getting that this person cares a lot for you, but you may not be able to, you may be questioning it because it's something they don't like to readily show. They don't trust people easily. They've had their heart stepped on a lot, is what I'm getting. And they don't trust their own heart to tell them who's right and who's wrong, to trust with that. And this is somebody who's very much connected to this money, this flow of money. But I'm getting the change here. I'm noticing when I'm connecting to this, it feels more in the past. It's kind of like you've already kind of gotten into good favor with this person, but I don't think you are aware of it. Especially with the beauty card on your side, and it was face down when I first picked it. I really feel like you're not aware of how much this person really thinks of you and how much they really look at you in a positive light. Sometimes you may think the opposite, that they don't really like you that much, or they're not really favoring you very much. But it's kind of like they don't want people to know that they care, because they feel like once they do that, it opens the door for them to get walked on and used and abused. It's happened to them in their past is what I'm getting. And I'm feeling for a lot of you, you have no idea what their past is. You have no idea how people have treated them. Literally, it's not something you've done. It's just with the way life has been to them. So hopefully you can step out of the situation just a little bit and realize, if you get hurt enough, it's kind of like if you think of a cute dog that constantly gets kicked by people, like 7-8 people do it to them. They just automatically, when somebody's nice to them, they're automatically on a defense, like, yeah, you're nice to me now, just so you can kick me later. It's kind of that attitude, you know what I mean? Now, coming forward, also see the unexpected coming forward. And I don't feel like this is happening just yet, but I feel like it's going to be, to you, it may feel very unexpected, this coming forward. It may be unexpected for that person who's going to be helping you, because they're very reluctant to get too involved with people. They've learned the hard way that people are just not nice to them. It has nothing to do with you, though. Literally has nothing to do with you. Now, what does this say at the bottom? Because I feel like you're not going to expect them moving forward in your way. Several more attempts, but you'll get it. Yeah, that makes sense. That's what this says. I don't know. My chicken scratch may be hard to read, but I'll push it a little farther in case you want to read it. Several more attempts, but you'll get it. Like, this person is going to move slow. Somebody is in control of your money. This money coming forward, like money is coming towards you. This person is releasing it. This person's going to help you. It's very unexpected, but when it says several more attempts, but you'll get it, it's like they're going to slowly turn on the faucet. It's like slowly turning the faucet on, slowly, like it's a trickle. Well, it probably starts out with a few drips, drip, 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 drip. And you're like, well, if I want a glass of water, it's going to take me an hour. This is really not working for me. Then it goes into like a good trickle, and you're like, all right, still not going to get me where I need to go. I'm actually thirsty. I'd like that drink of water. It's not very quick. But it's slowly coming forward. You'll notice patience here at the end. I'm sure you've already seen it. I've pointed it out already. But I'm getting here, like, you're working towards this. You're going to have to keep working towards this. I feel like it's going to kind of go on autopilot. It's going to slowly moves quicker, slowly go better. I literally feel like this is somebody, like, if they're getting on the highway, it's one of those people that they get on the highway like at 5 miles an hour, then they get up to 10 miles an hour, then they get up to 15 miles an hour, and it's like by the time they finally get up to the correct speed, you're like, seriously, it's taken forever. But the Page of Wands with the Seven of Wands is telling me, as long as you stick with it, with the Seven of Wands on your side, as long as you stick with it, success will happen for you, but you're going to have to work and hold your ground to make it happen. It's going to take a slow autopilot feeling with this person. Again, life has just not been nice to them when it comes to trusting people. It has nothing, literally nothing to do with you. You just got to realize, like that dog analogy, you get kicked by 7 or 8 people, you just start expecting it. You know what I mean? And then when somebody's nice to you, it still takes you a long time to really trust them. It's one of those feelings. The longer you go, the stronger this gets, the more they learn to trust you, the more they see your character come through. And like, this is somebody I feel like they're expecting, well, I don't want to say expecting, but the more you reciprocate, like they do for you, you do something else for them. You don't have to do something for them monetarily wise, but for example, like just baking them cookies once in a great while, like once or twice a month, just hanging out with them or calling them up and asking them, talking about a show you have in common with them, something like that, inviting them to something or letting them know, oh, hey, I know you like this stuff. I like that stuff too. I'm going to go here too, just so you know. If you're there, I'd like to meet up with you. We can hang out. Something like that, just minimal things. The more you do stuff like that, the stronger this gets, the better this flows, the more this flows. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly because I feel like it's, you know what I mean? You just show small acts of consideration back towards them, wins this person over very, very much. It's like the more you do that, the more you win them over. The more that becomes consistent, the better you have a backup here, or a ally, I should say. Still not going to happen in 2 seconds. You got the patience card here, but it will get better and better and better. This feels like a dependable thing. Somebody trying to help you, continuing to help you. The more they believe in you, the more they understand you, the more they get confidence in you, the better they'll be. But I also want to say, with the dog analogy again, 7 or 8 people kick them, and then they just start expecting it. It only takes one slip up, and you can go back to square one. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. Like, I don't think that should be an issue, but just like I want to say that in the sense of like one perceived slip up. So if something seems out of balance or they start acting a little strange, something just seem to be a little bit, cold after a little while, you want to clear that up. You want to go forward and find out why they're feeling that way. They'll probably give you some type of hint that you can clear it up, because it could be as much as a perceived situation. Like, I know I'm using the dog analogy a lot. You don't have to literally kick the dog for them to act like they're afraid of you. They just have to get some type of inkling where they think you might do it, or they think you're getting the intention to do it, and you could have a problem. So just, this person is very sensitive, but they're an ally. They're pulling money towards you. It's going to go better and better over time. They're very sensitive too. So you want to be very well aware of their feelings. If they start to pull back or start to recoil, you want to try your best to find out why they're doing that. It should be fixable fairly easily, because it could be just a misunderstanding. If they bring it forward and you're able to clear it up, back to that good place that you were. If you don't go back in and clear it up, though, you could end up back at square one. Just be aware of it. This one's good. I like this one. All right, I think we're good with this one. Let's go on to the next. I'm going to try to pick up my cards correctly this time. Sometimes I mix them up, and I don't like when I do that. So I'm just going to take a quick moment and try to pick them up correctly. All right. The Amethyst. That's this one. I know there's 2 cards there. We're going to do it like that. Oh, they're both upside down. I don't want them upside down. Okay. This is where the money. Where the money? Where's the money? I don't know where my... I don't know. Okay. Not to ruin the whole thing here, but you'll notice the message here at the bottom, the channeled message. If you can't read my chicken scratch, it says try something else. So if for those of you that you're trying for something and there's something you're looking for, especially if it's like an inheritance thing, they're like, this ain't gonna work well. For others of you that are just, like, I'm not knowing where the money's coming from, I'm just hoping something comes my way. If you're in that boat, they're saying the next thing that comes your way is not what you're really looking for, because when I'm seeing the Nine of Coins followed by these 2 cards, it's one of those feelings like if it looks too good to be true, guess what? It is. Fruition and gratitude are both upside down, which to me, I feel like there's a letdown here. My first thing is like where we're coming from is a letdown. Something did not play out the way it was supposed to. The gratitude reversed plus the fruition reversed. Like, I just feel like it's almost like, the blight, when the blight hits your crops. Like, I had a garden one year, and it was going real good, and then the blight came through and got nothing. This is like, and not happy about it. That's gratitude reversed. Like, not happy about it. Like, the crop failed. Something flat out failed is what I'm getting. And the gratitude reversed is telling me somebody's not very happy with something, and there's like almost like a grudge feel with this. Like something fell through, something didn't go right, and somebody is harboring negative feelings about it. Now, when I'm coming into this, it's I'm getting a vision of a person I know, which makes me, and this is a person that they just seem to think they're owed things. It's a dangerous energy. It's a dangerous energy. It's not so much if it's true or not, but it's that type of feeling, like when you just feel like it's my right. It's almost like there's a person, they have this birthright attitude, which is just always falls through. It's kind of hilarious for the person I'm thinking of, but that doesn't matter. But it's kind of like having this birthright attitude, the way these are adding up. Kind of like, I'm owed this, I deserve this should be mine. And that literally could be true. With the Nine of Coins, it's not so much if that comment is true or that thought is true or not, it's where it's leading you. Because something's coming forward and it's almost like expecting something. Like there's something I'm owed here. There's just due to my who I am and how I've grown up or what I've done previously. Like I've put in my time. I deserve this. I deserve that. This reminds me of another thing. Like some people, which this is hard because I think this is a hard example, but I'm getting this example, so I just want to be fair. Like you put a lot of effort in work, you bend over backwards, you put in the time, you do the overtime, everything that's asked of you, you do that and beyond that. So it literally feels like you're owed the next promotion, right? And the Knight of Coins, see, this is what I mean. That could be literally valid. You could be valid in that feeling. And I could completely agree with you. Yeah, you put in all the time, you do everything that's asked of you, you have all the qualifications, there's no reason you shouldn't have that. But what the cards are saying is it's not going to play out that way. And they're just giving you like the heads up, like don't let this hold you down. That's the danger for you, for the people who chose this. Something that something's not coming through that you're expecting. Something you feel you are owed or you put in the work for or that should be yours is not going to happen. And they're saying don't waste your time beating yourself up about it. Don't fight for something that's just not going to work. Change your direction, move in a different direction, and they're saying don't waste your time because it's going to be time and effort wasted that's not going to pay off. Because I'm getting the death cards coming forward, which the death card followed by the Five of Wands is what's really bothering me. It's telling me that this is the situation, that the possibility is stopping. Wherever you're coming forward, it's kind of like you either get it or you don't, and the Five of Wands is telling me you don't. There's a lot of conflict. You're very angry. There's a lot of conflict here. The try something else, they're like really making it clear. They're like, nope, this is not for you. They're also saying this is kind of like something you may feel you really want, but in truth, it's really not helping your life. So it may seem like, well, I don't understand why I can't have that. It just seems like I should. They're saying put your energy in a different direction. Where's the money? It's like even if you don't see this coming, when it pops up in your future and you're like, oh, that should be mine. I'm expecting something, like an opportunity for promotion, maybe an inheritance, something along those lines is what I'm mostly getting here. There's obviously other ways this could go, and you would know better than I would. Whatever's popping in your head is probably what it's for. For some of you, it'll show up in the next few weeks, and you'll know what it is. Either way, it's saying something you're expecting, like, oh yeah, I put in the due diligence. Oh yeah, this is something that should happen. Oh yeah, like this is what I expect. Like I'm one of these people, so it should be divided equally, and I'm one of those, whatever. They're saying it's not going to work out that way. But don't waste your time on it. Try something else. Don't waste your time on it. Don't fight it. Don't go against it. Just see what it was. For those of you who it's like a job and you're like, hey, I really did deserve that promotion and I should not have been passed on. This may be your heads up saying, well, maybe it's time to look at another company. Maybe it's time to take this in a different direction altogether. Maybe it's one of those things. Maybe this is meant to aggravate you to get you to go somewhere else. If it's something else with like a family inheritance or something like that, I think you're going to have to look at it a little closer, but maybe just kind of like realizing how things really play out and how things really get worked out and why. I want to put like an upswing to that, but I'm getting whatever way it turned out. They're like, don't hold to it. Just move on from it and just take a deep breath and keep going. Don't waste your time on it. The family one is a lot more tricky, especially if it's an inheritance with family. It feels like it can be very brutal. I just feel like it's not worth the struggle because I feel like if it's that way, it's going to be quite the controversy. I wouldn't get involved in it because I don't feel it working out. I actually feel like a lot of money could be one of those things where a lot of money or the inheritance is actually spent fighting for it. How do I explain this? Like there's people I've known, they've contested wills, and by the time they're done, they do get more money, but all that money plus more has been spent fighting it. So they really didn't win. It was just not positive. It wasn't really that good. It was just kind of like that inheritance was given to lawyers, which is definitely not what the person who passed on wanted. So it's kind of like it's not really a good thing. I don't know. I can't get another positive angle. I want another positive angle for this, but they're basically saying just when it doesn't go your way, walk the other way. Take your energy, put it into something, like if it's a job, find somewhere else, create your own promotion somewhere else. If it's family, just let it go. Don't let it drag you down. If it's something else, they're just saying just go the other direction. Don't waste your time fighting for something that's already lost. All right. That one, I don't know if it was harsh, but I mean, I know it's not the, you know, it is what it is. For those of you that came to it, I'm really feeling like they're just saying, don't beat your head against the wall. They're trying to tell you that. Just don't beat your head against the wall. Don't do it to yourself. All right, the next one. Lapis Lazuli. And I kind of like the little wish band. I don't always notice it, even though it's always there. But the little wish band. So could this be a wish coming true? Let's find out. Cancel not. Cancel not. So, let's see where this is going. Two of them popped up there again. Cancel not or fail later. Alright, you got the masculine and you got the boundaries. Okay. Now, the masculine. I do like the masculine card here. Like, you want your wish to be fulfilled. And I'm getting that, like, the band, it's really pulling through with the Lapis Lazuli, that band around it, like it's a wish, like getting your wish. Cancel not or fail later. So I almost feel like there's going to be this need, the masculine with the boundaries. It's almost like, you know what, this isn't working out exactly the way I want it to right now. Like, the boundaries with the masculine is kind of like, someone's kind of holding this to a certain level. Like, it seems a little restrictive, and it may make you feel like, oh, maybe this isn't the group I want to do this with. Ironically, I like the masculine with the boundaries. And it reminds me of, I don't know, well, you know, this may be dating me, but whatever. There's a group, and they were called Poison. It was a late 80s, early 90s group. But the lead singer and the lead guitarist did not get along. But even though they didn't get along, they made good songs. Well, in my opinion, good songs. How's that? They made popular songs. And they did very well. When they split up, I don't remember them really having much success on their own. I don't recall it anyway. And I'm almost feeling like there's the boundaries with the masculine. Like, somebody's making something and it feels different. It seems like somebody's making something very difficult for you. It's very restraining. You can't do everything you want. You can't live it the way you want to do it. You don't have the freedom to do everything you want to do. But I really feel like that's literally what's going to bring in the money. Dealing with this energy, working with this energy of restraint and boundaries will get you the monetary reward you want. Taking this a different way, if you wait or you change whoever you're working with to somebody who's going to let you do everything you want to and not really challenge you, or worse, maybe they'll challenge you a little, but when you say, I really want to do it this way, they're like, okay, let's do it your way then. You're not going to get that payoff is what I'm getting. The challenge of working with these boundaries gets you to go to the next level and brings in a higher pay grade, a higher payback, a higher return on your investment. Because what I'm getting here is the masculine boundaries here, which doesn't have to be an actual guy. Not for nothing, this comes up for women too. To me, it feels like it's very restrictive. Like, we got to do it this way. This is how you do it. And sometimes it's more about what looks good on paper rather than what emotionally feels right. Sometimes it is that, just to be fair. Nothing moves forward without emotion. Neither analyzing something or being emotionally connected, you have to have both. And in my opinion, you have to have an equal amount of both. You got to know when to stick to the rules. You got to know when to go with your gut. And you got to use them together equally to really have power, in my opinion. I don't know if that's coming across correctly, but hopefully that comes across in a way that's helpful. Working with this energy, the Queen of Coins is going to be, I feel like it's a demanding energy, quite frankly. Like, we're gonna color within the lines. We're gonna do it the way it's supposed to be. We're not gonna do anything crazy. We're gonna do everything within constraint. But it's almost like, all right, you want me to color in the lines? Okay, you want me to use these certain colors? I can do that. But say you're coloring something in, you're like, well, I can color this in and I can make it a triangle pattern. And I can use blue and green with these triangles, and you know, I'll make it a little bit more festive, but I'm still coloring within the lines. I'm still using the colors that they're saying to use. I'm using different pressure to make them lighter and darker. You know what I mean? You're still using your creativity. Like, yep, I'm within the lines. Yep, I'm sticking with the color scheme, but I'm doing it, I'm putting in a pattern there, and I'm using intensity and lightness to make shades and gradients that you're making this very unique and beautiful, but still within the lines, still within the boundaries. And I'm getting the Queen of Coins. It's almost like this energy is just going to be just as annoyed with you as you are with it, in the sense of like you're finding a way to work with their rules and still have your creativity, and they can't say anything about it. But it's between the two of you working together, well, probably two of you, that this is where you get the optimal payoff. It's like you working within those boundaries and doing it the way they want you to, but still having your artistic flair. I'm feeling an artistic flair anyway. Really is what pulls it in. Really what brings it together and really creates it in a beautiful way that a big payoff comes in, because it's the Queen of Coins. It could be maybe a very stubborn energy, but it's a very bountiful energy. So I'm seeing like this figure and somebody coloring it in, like, oh, I got to stay in the lines. Oh, you want to use, for example, cool colors in the jacket and warm colors in the hair and maybe some neutrals over here and this other piece. Sure, but I'll do it my way, and I'll use gradients and shading and color and patterns to my benefit, so I still get my joy out of it, but I'm still staying within your rules. So ha ha ha. And I feel like that's what saying. Don't cancel this. Cancel not. If you cancel and find somebody who will let you color outside the lines and create your own color scheme, for example, it probably will fail because it's not going to conform to whatever the system needs to really get that payoff. Sticking with this person will get that bounty that you want, but you won't always be negative against each other. I feel like you'll start to respect each other more, and it'll be a dual thing. It'll go back and forth. You'll learn to respect each other more, and the one person will be like, well, I need to hold boundaries, but I need to be a little bit fluid to let the other person breathe. And on your side, you'll be like, you know what, I need my room to breathe and be fluid when I want to be, but these defined boundaries, they do work to an extent. And I think I can respect that. Like, I can still breathe enough, but still work within the constraints that we both make out in a very monetary, positive way. So the answer for this, where's the money? The money is sticking with this person who's very restrictive and just finding your way to work with it and put in your own spin on it while still working with the boundaries. And that's where your money is. That's where your big money will come from. And I get like a friendship. The more, I feel like this is an advice card more than anything else with the Three of Cups. Like, the more you respect this energy, the more they respect you back. It may not be the easiest to work with this energy all the time, but the more you realize, the connection, the balance between the two of you is really creating this bounty. I feel like it'll be more, what do I want to say? More harmonious. You know what I mean? There'll be times that each of you will try to push a little more to get more control. This person will want more boundaries. You'll want more openness, and you'll have to like dicker it out a little bit. But this is where your success is. Cancel not. Work with this person. If you find somebody else who's more to your liking, you will fail later. That's what they're warning about. So that's where your money is. All right. There's that one. That's this one. I feel like that's saying you want your wish, that's how you get your wish. You want your wish, that's how you get your wish. There you go. All right. Let's go on to the next one. I like these. I like these readings for today. Now this is, I love this stone. I think that's very pretty. It's mesmerizing. It's selenite. There we go. I'm like looking at it in the viewfinder. I'm like, oh, pretty. I don't know what this says just yet, but we will. I want to go here. There's going to be a jump. There's going to be a jump. I can see that already. Ooh, we got success. Ideas and resistance here. This is where it's going to end up over here. Okay, you got to be... Okay. You will still succeed even with that. If you can't read my chicken scratch, it says... And I might have spelled some of this wrong just to call myself right out on that. Saboteur... But the question is, was it purposeful or just somebody who's just, they sabotage themselves and other people without even realizing it? I almost feel like some people are hard to realize that sometimes. There's people probably in your life, because they seem to be around, where they seem to just screw things up. And it's kind of like, how do you not know any better? Did you purposefully screw this up? And honestly, they didn't mean to. They just seem to be those people that they just can't seem to... they can't seem to accept something if it's good, and they just can't seem to help but screw things up. It's almost like they feel comfortable when they screw it up. It's like their autopilot is just to screw things up. And I feel like there's somebody like this connected to this. Although you have the Six of Wands, which is telling me you're going to succeed anyway. But it's almost like I feel like where this is heading, whatever we're starting with, it's heading to something where you have success, but it could have gone better than it did. And there's somebody who screwed things up, and you're just like, did you purposely do that? Or are you just a bonehead? When we're coming into this, this is about where's the money. Somebody's moving very slowly. Somebody is a little bit, I'm getting like they're really drunk on the idea, drunk on life, drunk on the thought. They don't have to be truly intoxicated, but like they're caught up in the thought of like where things could go. I'm getting that with the Temperance, like they're thinking about it a lot. They like the thought of it, but I almost feel like it's kind of like a half-baked idea with the Temperance card. Whoever this is, I feel like Temperance is more saying like this person needs to think this out more. This person needs more time to really fully do things correctly, because it's almost like pieces of the puzzle are missing and they're not realizing it. And I feel like that's why we're going to end up over here where they screw things up, because I feel like there's a half-baked feel with it. The Temperance, I really do feel like they're saying this person needs more time to really fully actualize a thought. Now you got Nourishment, you got Balance, and you got the Moon. The upper part here is more the person asking, like you who chose this. It could be flipped, but it's like the Moon and the Six of Wands, that should be the person asking. So that should be you, the person who chose this. Granted, it could be flipped, you could have more of a connection to the bottom, but usually it's this top part. Because when you're coming into it, somebody's giving ideas, somebody's talking about something that sounds really good. They've gotten that fire started, they got that thought burning. They're kind of like, we could probably do this, this could probably work. This sounds like a good idea, doesn't it? And you're like, well, I mean, it does sound nice. It seems like it has possibility. You want to believe it. And I feel like this person's very passionately talking about it, but they're warning you. Half-baked, not completely. The puzzle's not completely together. They don't have all the pieces together just yet. And they're saying Nourishment with Balance is saying, how do you put this? Like if you have, how do I put Nourishment with Balance? Like if you don't have all the elements together, it's going to balance out later. So every piece you're missing, there's going to be like something's going to kind of fall through for that. Like if you try to make a cake and you don't have some form of flour, you got to have something else that's going to take up the substance. You know what I mean? There's other things that can do that. Like if you don't have a flour, I guess cornmeal. I've heard of flourless cakes, so I guess like cream cheese and like a sugar substitute. I've seen that work before. But I'm saying something has to take it up. Something has to balance this out. If the nourishment isn't there to make this situation completely come forward, something else is going to have to be added in to make this work. And I'm getting the Moon card on your side is telling me you're kind of like, I don't exactly know how this is going to go through, but it seems like this other person does. And it's kind of like, should I have faith with this, or is that a little unnerving? I'm not sure if this is right. Now, going into this blindly, it does work out. It does work out, but with the Six of Wands on your side, the balance, I feel like you're striking the balance. This is going to be one of those situations, the deeper you get into it, the more you see what's lacking, the more you're going to have to fill in those lacking pieces to make this a success. You will get the Six of Wands. You will get the success. More ideas will come forward, but I'm also getting like you're going to have to like work out with this other person or whatever you're working with, because they're not understanding it. Because the resistance on their side, you're going to be looking at it clearly wondering, are you trying to sink the ship? Are you trying to screw this up? Because your idea is half-baked, and I'm filling in the missing pieces. I'm fixing what's broke to make this work. Are you purposely screwing it up? Or you just can't seem to help yourself, and you're very short-sighted with what's going on, with what's going wrong? Because the resistance is the card here. Whatever you're going forward, I do feel like you have a lot of success coming forward. But I feel like what they're saying here is like, yeah, there's money here. Yeah, you're going to do well. But especially if you're in this beginning stage, be careful how tightly tied you get to this person. Because I feel like this person's going to try to tie themselves to the situation. I really feel like they're going to try to tie themselves to the situation, which isn't bad, but I feel like what they're saying is you're the one who's going to create the balance. You're the one who's going to fill in the missing pieces. You're the one who's going to create the success. If you were not a part of this, success, like Seven of Cups and Resistance, they would not have success without you. You are the success. I feel like when you get this far, they're saying realize that resistance is there. Realize that this person is not purposely trying to. I don't feel like they're purposely. I feel like you may be questioning if they're purposely trying to make it go bad. I don't feel like they are. They just seem to be one of those people who they just can't seem to help themselves from screwing things up. It's just autopilot to do so. So be aware of that. When you get here and you get this amount of success, ask yourself if it's worth continuing on the fight to continue, because you're the one who's creating the success. Or do you want to go somewhere else and just kind of cash in your chips and be like, you know what? It's almost like a night at the casino. Like, I'm up $400. Do I want to keep gambling and possibly lose this and more? Do I really think I can keep gambling and get farther ahead? Like, I feel like it's kind of one of those things at the end of the night at a casino, kind of like, you know what? I did make $400. Maybe I should just take it for what it's worth, cash that in, go home and call it. Just be like, you know what? One time around was enough. I'm thankful for that. I feel like I took a gamble with this person. I did make the right choices. I did do what I needed to do. I paid attention and it worked out for me. But I don't think we want to keep doing this right now. Where's the money? The money is here. The money is here, but they're saying you're the one who's going to make it. Just ask yourself when they get here. I feel like that's the whole purpose of this reading. Like, yes, you will make the money. The money will be here with this person. This idea is a good one. But when you make it happen, realize this person is... I just don't feel like this person is someone you want to stick with too long. Because the longer you're with them, the more of a gamble it becomes. The more control you have, the more stable it becomes. You might be a situation you just have to exit. And just kind of like, hey, I made it this far. I got this much out of it. That's enough. Or if you can find a way to take it over and keep it as yours, the success will continue. That's what I'm getting. So where's the money? There's the money. I think we got the answer. I don't know what else I'm looking for. So I'm going to let that be there. I think that worked out good. Alright, we got one more to do. Let's pick up these cards first. You can't see her. My dog Chloe's here right next to me. She says hello. Alright, the last one. Rainbow Hematite. There we go. What do we have for you guys? Is this the one with all the stuff in it? Oh, that's fun. Face down card right in the middle. Okay. And it's right... Okay, so that's... What does this say? What do you want versus social expectation? What do you want versus social expectation? I don't know. It looks like really... It looks really bright in the viewfinder, so I'm not sure if you can read it. Then again, my handwriting and all that good stuff. I don't usually do this with the stones because I don't want it to get caught up in the stones too much, but this is a stone about, in my opinion anyway, regaining control of how you feel and what you want. It's not only grounding yourself, but like stabilizing, like, wait a minute. I'm grounding myself and now I'm realizing, wait, do I really want what it seems like I want? Is this social expectation is why I'm going forward with whatever I'm doing? Or do I really want it? Or is social expectation keeping me from going towards what I really want? And that's like with the rainbow hematite, that's what I feel like it's really emphasizing. Like, where do you stand? Like, to me, it's the solar plexus chakra, having that self-loyalty. What do I really feel? What do I really want to stand with? Can I stand up for myself and what I really want? Now, there's sovereignty in the top here. These two cards on the top, it should be about the querent, which should be the person who chose this video. It could be somebody you're dealing with, just to be fair, because I know it flips once in a while. So take that with a grain of salt. But when you're coming in with sovereignty and assessing, and I feel like this directly ties into that, you're doing what you feel is the right thing to do. Sovereignty is kind of like what's socially acceptable, in my opinion, in this situation. Sometimes it's about having that safe place or having that safe haven, going somewhere where you feel protected or protecting someone else. And literally, this could be making a decision or going towards something because you feel like it's easier for other people around you if you do what's expected, or you're like, this is the acceptable way to make money. This is the acceptable way to go forward. And you're assessing that. And you're trying to find the acceptable way to go forward. This is what other people, according to the rules, feel I should do. This is the acceptable way to make money. So like certain ways, like, and this might be controversial, but depending on how you feel, but like maybe like for example what I do, making money through doing some tarot readings. Some people are not cool with that, and I feel like most of you realize why some people wouldn't be. What other like exotic dancers? Personally, I think that's a cool thing, if that's something you really enjoy. But I think it's okay. And then there's different levels of that. But other people would be like, no, that is not cool, and they have their reasons for it's not. What's another one? Other jobs, like sometimes, like, things that put your life in danger, like, military or police jobs or fire or ambulance rescue, things that put you in harm's way. Some people would say that's not a good job to have, and they steer you away from it. You know what I mean? But it's not, probably not a bad job to have, but other people may have this expectation like that's not a cool thing because you could be in danger doing those things. Something like that. So making money in a certain aspect where like you're kind of like, I want to stay inside my social constraints where other people are okay. There's certain things I'd want to do, but if I make money according to what other people think I should, then it'll be fine. I got Tupperware in there for some reason too. I don't know how big a business that is again at the moment. I know 20 years ago it seemed like it was bigger than it is now to me, but what do I know? So it's almost like certain things like that, like doing something on the side and selling something on the side, and kind of feeling like, oh, people are going to think, something this or that, so should I do that, should I not? No, I should just get a second job doing this, or no, I should just work harder at my current job and do that, stuff like that. So trying to do what other people feel you should do is how this seems to be going in, and assessing what's right. I'm also seeing like doing that seems like the hard way to do it. I'm having a hard time moving on from this because I'm getting more input about what other things this could be. Sometimes artistic people or crafty people stepping outside the box and doing things in a way that other people wouldn't expect you to do it. Like I know people who are very talented, and I want to say this nicely. They have a very talented eye, and they know what looks good together, but they'll use, all right, I'm just going to say cheap material to put together a beautiful idea, but it comes across cheap even though it's a beautiful idea. And sometimes it's kind of like, oh, well, I don't know how well that's going to go, so I'm not going to spend that much on this money, on investing in this. I'm just going to get cheap supplies just to try it out and see how it goes. That way I'm not really losing much if it doesn't go bad, if it goes bad. Realizing, but also kind of like on the other side of the coin, for example, if you use more expensive items like gold plating or certain types of glass, or, you know what I mean? You take the money and invest in the situation. It may cost more to get involved. You take that beautiful idea, put some more expensive components into it, make something very beautiful and very valuable. It might cost more to sell it. You have to put a higher price on it, but it's also worth more, and people are more drawn to it because they want something nice. They want something that they feel is very beautiful and that will last, and something that really catches their eye. One thing I'm thinking of is like I saw somebody once make this beautiful, it was like a sculpture out of like plastic pieces, but I don't know, the way it looked in plastic, it just didn't look right. It looked cheap. I'm sorry, but it did. And I know that person's not going to know who I'm talking about, but they made something, it had a very beautiful concept, but when it was made out of plastic, it just didn't look right. It just didn't, to me, it wasn't really a drawing in. I saw somebody else make it out of metal, I think, which was interesting. It was a similar thing made out of metal, and it had a weight to it, it had a shine to it, and it was very polished and nice. It was almost identical, but it was to me, it was much more drawing. I actually wanted that piece. It was out of my price range, ironically. I was out of my price range, but I believe somebody else bought it. But it was almost the same thing, but using a different material, more expensive material, taking that extra time on it, made it much more valuable. Same idea, though, and I remember thinking, like, that person has such a beautiful idea, but the materials they used, it just was not, like, I didn't want it. It was plastic. I just didn't want it. To me, it looked cheap. You know what I'm saying? So that's almost like saying, like, going forward to something and investing your time in it, and taking a beautiful idea and investing in your idea and really bringing forth the quality that needs to come forward with it may be what you're walking away from in the beginning, kind of because the other people are pushing pressure like, oh no, don't invest in that, don't waste your money in that because you might not ever get that money back. But when they say that and you try like a cheaper version, people may not want it because it looks cheap, even though it's a great idea. Like, honor your idea is basically, I feel like, what this is saying here. Assess what you're doing, have the strength to do what's right. Because it's there, too. It's like what you put in is what you get out. Six of Coins, it's one of the meanings I get from the Six of Coins. What you put in is what you get out. King of Coins is like you have to put money into this idea. So it's saying, what do you want versus social expectation is basically, are other people like trying to poo-poo your idea and poo-poo the way you do it and trying to restrict how you do things? Because what you put in is what you get out. And the Hierophant is saying that's literally how this is going to come out. If you invest in this and put the time in this and put your heart and soul into it and make something truly beautiful, the Hierophant is saying sooner or later it will pay off in your way. But it's also saying, it's like if you try to take the cheap way out, what you get out is what you put in. If you cut corners and do it cheaply and just try to do as cost effective as possible, people aren't going to want to pay for it and you're not going to get much back. And the Hierophant says, well, that's what you get. That's what comes out from it. It's like holding to tradition. If you don't take the time to learn the rules and recite the vows and know how to say things verbatim, you're going to be stumbling through. You're going to be reading things out of a book and people aren't going to have the faith in you to get out of this what you want. This is basically what this whole reading is about. This is basically saying, especially these last three cards all together, what you put into it is what you're going to get out. So the more you invest in it, the more beautiful you make your idea, the more you make it truly honor your true vision, the more you're going to get out of it. The more you let somebody damper it and taper it down, and if you take that beautiful idea and make it out of plastic, most people aren't going to want it. If you take that beautiful idea and in your mind it's, say, beautiful copper and silver and it's got twists and turns and it's polished and it looks so beautiful, the more you honor that, the more you're going to get out of it. You're going to put in that effort and you're going to get out the beauty, you're going to get out the money that you need from it. It's going to support itself. It's going to basically, like, if you put in plastic effort, you're going to get back enough to keep making plastic things. If you put in metal effort, you're going to get enough back to make more metal things and support yourself making that metal stuff. I hope that makes sense. So, what you put in is what you get out. But just to be fair, this is saying in the beginning you may kind of sell yourself short. Maybe you're going to start making the plastic version. Maybe that's where you just feel you need to start. Maybe those are your test pieces. And that's okay. Actually, I do want to promote that. Say you start making this vision with plastic pieces, and I know it's a metaphor. I think you're all with me on that. Say you're doing that, and you're like, I can do this really well. You get to the point where you're like, I can do this really well with plastic, and then you decide, well, now that I know what I'm doing with plastic, now it's trying to transition over to metal, and make this a little harder, work a little harder on it now that I know I've shaped the forms. And maybe you're one of these people, which I think is very valid, just to give you another avenue to do this. When you first start an idea, maybe you're a sculpture person, you're like, the first couple tries, I'm going to use plastic. And when I start getting the form down and I know what I actually want to make, then I'm going to switch over and remake it in metal. That way I've already worked out the kinks with cheaper material. When I'm ready to, and I know what I want to do and I know how to do it, then I'm going to make it out of metal so I'm not wasting that. That is valid. So that's fine. It's just your end product, and they're saying, again, your end product, what you put in is what you get out. Just keep that in mind. The effort and the quality you put in is what you're going to get out. The quality you put in is the payoff you're going to get back. So that's where your money is. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, go ahead, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.